Good morning and namaste to everyone. And I'm presenting my research here. And the topic of my research is the parents' perceptions of homework practices in Nepali school, a narrative inquiry. Uh, my name is Janak Bishi and I'm from Department of School Education, um, Kathmandu University. Uh, the master narratives that I have brought here is personal narratives of research, background of study, and then of course I'll talk about the significance of the study at the end, and then we have got policy reviews, both national and international, research proposals and questions, and some of the theoretical framework, and we talk about research methodology and how the data analysis was done, and at the end, discussion and findings and some recommendation and implication of the research, and with some bibliography. The personal narratives of research is like I have been observing my children's school homework, and then I frequently hear parents complain about how much homework uh, do their children get every day, and then the reaction about it. And sometimes homework appears as daunting to both the teachers and the students also. And while I was going through the data collection part, I have got a couple of the images. The one of the participants who is who gave me this one, bows and arrows and shield, the bows and arrows as a homework and the shield as a participant. So it's trying to protect herself or himself from these arrows. So this is from the kid's perspective again. So that was the situation all about how the homework is perceived in Nepali context here. And background of study in school, the homework is commonly thought to improve students' learning, and but then the contrast part that we have is researchers have been writing about excessive homework is likely to stifle children's learning development. That's what Bumarito says. According to Nepali school tradition, the homework is often considered as a sign to improve children's academic. That's what we consider. That's what the society considers. So, as we prepare to incorporate 21st century learning skills, this research particularly challenges conventional mode of providing homework by claiming that children's development is also depends on how one approaches or articulates about them. So, the academic indicator better are frequently limited here. So, undermining children's holistic development. So, this is the background of the study. And the when you look at the significance of the study, the government of Nepal has already implemented the integrated curriculum from 1 to 3. So the government has made substantial investment in setting the education scenario, particularly in the developing appropriate content for children. However, the school's pedagogical pattern appears to be same as it was in the past. So despite the fact, like we have been trying our best, but this is what the reality is all about. So this research particularly attempts to assist teachers, parents, and the schools over determining whether the current pattern is beneficial to students or is there something change required. So this is what the significant study. I've tried to bring this the national policies. The government of Nepal issued the school sector plan stating that children should be prepared to focus on child-friendly, interactive, and child-centered education. That's what SSDP 16 says. But the question is debatable here. If the homework pattern really makes the learning child-friendly, so this is what we are dealing with the policy here. If you look at this national research level, we have a couple of researches. Even the video has come up, music video, very interesting. Homework, we can watch this one. This is one of the interesting part that we often find it very interesting here. And even the portal says dealing with the homework is homework in English language teaching. This is from the far west of Nepal. The Himalayan Times often writes, does homework really help school, help scholars to get good grades? So the National Education Policy 2076 talks about the how the children has to be dealt, has to be held, as we talked about child friendly. So if you look at the international research context of India, we need to look at the Indian context, like how new education policy 2020 set the entire issues of homework And then elementary to grade 2, there is no homework. 2 hours per week for the 3 to 5, 1 hour per day for the grade 6 to 8, 2 hours per day for the grade 9 and 10. So there is a framework very clearly stated here. And Vetroid says, rethinking about homework. This is the international, in the US, there was a big issue of the homework. Is really helping our kids to get much bad or good. So this is very interesting to look at the international scenario also. The purpose of research is to investigate the homework pattern in Nepali schools and explore into the nature of homework that can help schools to think creatively and make a difference in learning skill of children. So, and the research question that I have, there are 2 questions that I'll be dealing here. The first question is, how does the nature of homework play a constructive role, in the sense like, I have changed this word here again, enhancing children's education development, and what consequence does ineffective homework have on children's overall development? So to deal with these research questions, I have used the Taylor and Medina says the interpretive paradigm. So this is what I look at the real field and try to see how does it work, how it's working, and then I am trying to apply the hermeneutic approach of learning. How can we apply this in the context? This research process incorporated Vygotsky's theory of social constructivism, as students' learning does not limit in them alone, rather it multiplies when they interact with others. So there is a sense of interaction, there's a sense of going beyond themselves. So the homework issue has come up here. We try to go beyond the self here. It is also a synthesis of both ontological and epistemological views of point. So there is a common ground here that we can look at it. The paradigm is, of course, interpretive paradigm that the researchers interacts with the participants continuously over a long period of time. So it examines the hermeneutic approach. That's what I talked about just now. So there is a meta narratives we construct from the stories, and then we look at the stories over and over again. So there are methods we apply from the post-narrative methodology, inquiry method that I applied here. Narrative is a story. It can be a story and personal reflection. And Conley and Clandinin rightly frame out the construction of narrative of experience of reflexive relationship among the living the life story, telling the life story, retelling the life story, and reliving the life story. That's what is been happening here, right, in the research here. So in terms of data collection, I employed the interview through the blend mode, both face-to-face and then online using Zoom service. And then interview questions were constructed on instructed styles and the most open-ended questions. So there's enough space to explore, to share the feeling, realities. So research used the narrative inquiry approach in a systematic way. And then this includes the participants' stories, observation, interviews, and audio-visual resources that we use to the participants. Participants' poetry, their drawing were used to collect data. So as far as data analysis is concerned, I have used interviews, of course, and then participants were approached twice to double check their stories and clarify their personal experience that they narrated in the first attempt. So analysis part, transcribing and coding and creating the aforementioned theme from the participants were all part of the analysis process, and the meta story was developed and each theme extracted from the participants. So I took 2 parents and their kids, Nirmala, and then of course pseudonyms are used here. In the morning star, the school circuit, Nirmala, and then her son Neeraj and Vivek and her daughter Prerna. So their experience, their observation, feelings, poem, images, metaphor, all are used, and then participants' name were kept separate. I have used pseudonyms here. So in the finding part, homework should be a place to explore, construct, or create or design. This inculcate, learning than just mugging up text from the book. The focus is on learning rather than fulfilling duties from the school. So in the other side of the discussion from the both students' perspective, they love creating than consuming in the learning process. The tussle between the consumption, the information, and creating the information is observed here. The nearest creativity never appeared in the homework, where he used all the teaching components to create a product as a drawing. The content did not see it as a learning. So with the Prerna, who loves literature and wants to enjoy the stories, both the content was blocked her to explore more. Therefore, the home should boost the learning that they prefer than what the school prefers. Does the homework have to be aligned with the student's interest, or is it just what the school and teacher want? So the question needs to be explored further from here. So the theme that I have from first participants was creative and or versus memorization. So the story, the poem really talks about how sophisticated the life became with the homework. So, and the second theme that I extracted from the second participants, learning is stake. Leaders' learning pattern does not really match with the school's teaching system. Homework has become a rigid. There is no, exploration. There is no, the person can really explore more. They have to be in the box. Third theme, relationship. The third participants, the most of the issues can be resolved with the relationship between parents and teacher. Even the homework issues can be resolved. How the homework, it can even dealt with the nature of homework. It just matters the relationship between parents and teacher. The most of the debate will be resolved. What kind of homework is required? Let's meet together and let's find a way out. So the fourth theme is intellectual talks for social tasks. This is something like the kids have taken the homework as arrows. They're coming to them, attacking them. Attacking the person. And here are the kids. They do homework to protect them. Shielding themselves from the homework. That means there is nothing learning part appear for them. So what happens? They just do it just to save themselves from the parents and from the teachers to get saved from punishment. So what is the social learning then? So this is the question that appears here from this thing. So conclusion about homework has never been a bane. If at all the school consider the learning can shift beyond the text. All those themes provide the framework for the homework syntax. Creative versus memorization. Learning is a state. Relationship, intellectual versus social learning. These are the key things that one has to remember. So from here we can explore more. Where to go then? How to look at this the learning possibilities then. So there is still more to work out from here, but this is the revision of the research question that I have posed, and these are the references. Thank you so much for bearing with me. I will pause my recording here. Thank you.